Imagine this, you are driving your car and you get a flat tire. You get a flat tire. How does the car drive? It's like, whoa, or it might go boom, 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 thump, 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 thump. It's not comfortable, isn't it? It's not a good ride. And yet, it's really interesting. We can relate our life to like a wheel. And the same thing, if our life is not balanced, like that wheel isn't balanced when it's flat, life can be a huge struggle. So today I want to talk about the wheel of life and give you some strategies on how to bring your wheel of life back into balance, because lately you might have felt that your wheel was off balance. It might be that you're flogging yourself at work, you've got no time for the family, no time for the kids, your health's gone out the door, and you're just not satisfied and feeling super unfulfilled. So when I was shown the wheel of life many years ago, gosh, more than a decade ago now, I found it huge because it identified a couple of big out of balances in my life that I've since gone to work on. So why should we look at our wheel of life? Because it's creating how we show up in the world and the quality of our life. And the bottom line is when our wheel of life moves out of balance, it will directly tax your well-being as well. So let's dive in. Let's talk about the wheel of life. Now, the original Wheel of Life balance or imbalance came from a guy by the name of Paul J. Meyer back in the 1960s, and he was using it as a way to help people identify the goals. And today it's known as the life balance wheel, or the wheel of life, and the coaching wheel, and the success wheel, and all these other names. It's the same bottom line kind of principle, and it's a really simple system to help you identify and see where your priorities are, where they've been, and where you're out of balance. Now, there are generally 8 to 12 spokes on the wheel. Okay, so things like money and finances, spiritual, health, fitness, fun, community, family, friends, partner and love, personal growth, learning, work, and career. And it's an easy system that you can use just to see where you're at right now. Now, if you are driving or out having a walk or something like that, you won't be able to play along with this. But I really encourage you to re-listen to this when you've got, it takes 5 minutes. It really does. It takes 5 minutes when you've got time to play along with me. So if you've gone and then you've come back and now you're having a listen, I want you to go and get a sheet of paper and a pen, 2 colored pens of some description. We don't even need color pens, but as a visual, I know that color helps us get more change. So if you've got 2 colored pens or texters, I'm using a couple of Sharpies, purple and green, of course. And for those of you playing along on YouTube, you will be able to actually see me do this on the video. So if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel yet, go and subscribe, and you'll be able to watch all of my podcasts plus other information put up there on for video for you visual learners like me. And yeah, so go and search Healthy Life Hacks in YouTube and you will find that channel. Easy. Okay, back to it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get you to draw a circle, just a circle. Okay, for those of you playing along, we're going to draw a circle. Ignore the purple drawn in line there if you're looking at the video. So draw yourself a circle. And in this case, we're going to use 10 categories. So draw a circle. Doesn't have to be pretty. If you're playing along watching the YouTube, I have not done a pretty circle. Okay, it's all good. We just draw the circle. That's all we want. Don't wait to get things perfect. That doesn't count. All right, so you've got your circle, and I want you to draw 10 spokes on that wheel. 10 spokes on that wheel. They don't have to be in balance and everything, but draw 10 spokes on the wheel. Cool. Just give you a moment to do that. So yeah, like I said, when I was shown this by one of my mentors, Mr. David T.S. Wood, it's actually probably 12 or 13 years ago, I went, ah, wow, had no idea. It made sense, and I had no idea. So it was really, yeah, it was a big bit of a slap in the face for me, and which was cool. Wasn't anything wrong, but it showed me where I could create some difference to help my wheel roll better in life. Because otherwise, yeah, people, they're not satisfied. They're squirmy in life all the time, and they're flogging themselves and just not feeling at peace. So it's all about getting it at peace. Cool. So what I want you to do is I want you to write these names, one name on each spoke of the wheel going around. Okay. Doesn't matter where you start. I don't care about that, as long as they end up as the spokes. So the very first one is money. And on mine, I just drew a $sign. Money and finances. So write that on one of your spokes. Then we have spiritual. Write that on one of your spokes. Health and fitness. Now, just know also that this is not the definitive set. You could separate these. You might do health as one and fitness on the other. It doesn't matter. For this demonstration, I've put health and fitness together. But you can change these categories depending on your life and what are your priorities. But health and fitness is one. Like I say, it could be two. Fun. Fun's the next one. And then community. Might be one that you haven't even thought about in the past, but community's big. Family. Friends. Partner and love. If I'm going too fast, just push pause, come back. Personal growth and learning. And work. Okay, got it? So you should have written around the spokes on your wheel, money, spiritual, health and fitness, fun, community, family, friends, partner and love, personal growth and learning, work and career. So when I'm coaching people, these are the primary spokes that I start with, so we can just get a baseline of where people are at in their life and how balanced their wheel is. So you've drawn your spokes. What you're going to do now with a different colored pen is I want you to put a dot. Imagine the center of the circle is 0 and the outermost edge of the circle is 10 out of 10. So for instance, if fun, which is a big priority for me, is 10 out of 10, I'd have a dot right out there. If it was like you are working all the time and you've got no fun in your life, it would be really close to the center on that line. If it's like, yeah, I'm maybe a 5 or a 6, you're going to be somewhere around the middle mark on that line, that fun spoke of the wheel. So what I want you to do is just take a moment and don't overthink this, okay? The first thought, it might be that health is a 2, health and fitness is a 2, and you're thinking, no, it should be higher than that. I'll write it as a 6. But be real. I have no judgment. You're not doing this to show anyone else. You're just doing it for you. But it's a great way to get a picture of where you're really at, okay? And why maybe you're struggling in life. So score each of those: money, spiritual, health and fitness, fun, community, family, friends, partner, personal growth and learning, and then work. Give them all a score. Like I said, trust your intuition. Do not overthink this. Should only take a minute. And when you've done that, you're going to play Connect the Dots. Now, if you are playing along, here's one I just threw in. This is not my real one, but I do it to show the dramatic effect. It's probably kind of like where it was a long time ago for me. So if you're playing along, you'll be able to see what I've created. You're going to play Connect the Dots. So you're going to connect the lines, each of those dots, and it will show your version of what a wheel is right now. And if you're looking at the YouTube of this one that I've done as a demonstration, and you'll see it's not pretty. I haven't done a perfect circle. I haven't written neatly. This is just about a brain dumping exercise to get a reality check. Okay. But if you have a look at mine, you can see that I've rated spiritual as really low. If I go around money, about a 4, spiritual, probably about a 4, health and fitness on this, I've drawn it down as about a 2, fun, 10, community, 10. And so in my life, you know, I play with all the surf girls. I have an amazing, strong community that's so supportive to me all around. So for fun, I put that there. Family, I've put down there as a 2 or 3. For you, it might be a 10. Friends, 10. Partner, in this case, I've written it like a 5. I'm a bloody 12, but I've just done it to show how dramatic this can be. And this is where so many people are. You know, they've been in a relationship for a while and they're not amped up and feeling as loved as they could be. with their partners. So it might be somewhere around there. Personal growth and learning. You mightn't be doing anything to help advance yourself, reading books, attending podcasts and courses. But your work might be a 10 out of 10. You're just flogging yourself all the time. And if you look at this and you've played connect the dots, in this case, I've got a green circle and spokes with purple as the spokes in my wheel. You'll see if this was a wheel going round and round and round, this would be one very wonky wheel. It would just be like clunk, 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 clunk. Not fluid, not flowing. It would be horrible. Now, when I first did this more than 10 years ago, I was traveling the world as a professional speaker, earning a bucket load of money, loving my work, super heaps of personal growth and learning, really focused on all that, was in a great relationship. That was all good. Spiritual, I meditate, do all those things every day. Health and fitness were rocking high. Fun was great. Community was great. I had a great community all around the world. Friends, awesome. Family. I rated myself as about a 2. And I went, whoa, I had never thought of the impact of not being connected to my family at all in my life. I had an interesting childhood, and for my survival, I had disconnected from my family very much at that stage. And even when I came out when I was gay, I didn't talk to my folks for like 25 years. They didn't cope with me being gay. So I've had a very disconnection, a big disconnection to my family my whole life. Anyway, I thought this is something I want to improve. I never necessarily focused on it ever being anything like a 10 out of 10. Even today, it's not 10 out of 10. I'm disconnected to a few people in my family in a big way, and that's okay. I hold the door open so that if they ever want to walk through, that's cool. But presently, yeah, it's very closed. My mum died last year. It's actually mum and dad's wedding anniversary today as I record this. They would have been married, 66 years, 67 years. They would have been married today. And I rang my dad to say happy anniversary, and he was really happy that I remembered to say that. I had no connection with my dad for a lifetime because of just life and childhood and stuff like that. Anyway, I did the work on me. Dad hasn't changed. I've done the work on me to find my peace in my relationship with my family. And it was this wheel that identified that it was a very out of balance piece. As much as I wasn't thinking family in everyday life, I was having a great time traveling the world, doing all the fun things. Yay! However, it's part of your DNA. It's there. And I thought, well, I choose to balance this up for my physical, emotional health, because it is even though you mightn't be thinking of it all the time, it's sitting in the background, biting at you. And I needed to make peace with my childhood for me, okay, and my early adult years for me. So I did a lot of work. I worked with kinesiologists and different kind of natural therapy kind of counselor people at the time, and did the work and found my peace. And when the pandemic hit 3 years ago or whatever it was, 3 years ago, my mum got really sick, and the last 2.5 years before she died, I helped nurse her until she died. And since then, I've been my dad's carer. So it's interesting. I don't know how that would have all rolled for me if I hadn't identified this 10 years ago and had years of doing work on it. When it came to a time that my rest of my family didn't step up to help, I don't know what would have happened to them. I really don't. So for me, it's been great to be able to help repair my circle. Now, what I want you to do is that was my experience in seeing it. Okay, I'm curious. I want you to ask yourself, how do you feel looking at your wheel? Looking at your wheel, where are your biggest out of balances, or your, the lowest scores on your wheel? We're not comparing to anything. This is just between you and you, okay? And I'm curious, what surprises you the most? How do you feel, and what surprises you the most? It shocked me that my relationship spoke was so low, because I never thought, my family, because I never thought about family. I was so disconnected from my family. I just didn't think about it. They weren't part of my day-to-day conscious life. However, I absolutely know that energy was still sitting in the background, and I wanted to balance it up. So I was actually shocked. I went, what? I didn't get it. The rest of my life is so wonderful. Then this family thing is just, I interpret it as messed up. So what would it feel to you, and what would your life look like if your wheel was, well, not even totally balanced, but at least more balanced? So for me, I didn't I'm still not a 10 out of 10 with my family. I'm a good 8 or 9 out of 10 with my dad, who's still alive. The rest of the family, yeah, I'm in a good space, but we still don't have a relationship. And so I've been the black sheep of my family my whole life. It's just the way I operate in life. I have operated in life. So I'm at peace with it where it is. Do I desire it to be a 10 out of 10? No, I actually don't. I desire for myself to be at peace and for them to be where they're at with it. So I'm, probably 6, 7, 8 out of 10, somewhere around that for me nowadays. So it's improved from like the 2 that it was. It's dramatically different to where it was years ago. So I feel, really good about where my wheel is. It's way less bumpy than it ever was 10 years ago. But I had to ask myself at the time, wow, okay, this is actually out of balance. For me, all the areas were really cool. For you, it might be that your finances need some help. It might be that you are working too hard and at the sacrifice of everything else, the sacrifice of your health. You're not giving yourself even 10 minutes a day to go for a walk. Like, there'll be an area that's out of balance. So what category, as you look at your circle, what category would you like to improve? Not try to take it to a 10 straight away. It's taken over a decade for me to get my circle around family where it is, and I'm totally wrapped with where it is now to where it wasn't. I have no regrets in life. I think I'd have some regrets if I hadn't done some of this healing. So, or I might not, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But what category would you like most to improve? And is that necessarily the category you would want to start with? So you might have 2 or 3. So I might have, say your finances, your health and fitness, and no connection to community are really low scoring. And so you look at them and you think, wow, which one would I like to improve most? Well, finances is the one I'd like to improve most. However, which category would you like most to start with? Which is a different question. Just because that's the one you want to fix, so to speak, balance up better, with your health and fitness that if you did better self-care, you ate better, you moved your body, you drank more water, did all those kind of things, you would have the energy to pour into and the mindset and the clarity of mind and everything to be able to help manifest more income. Because you're obviously proven if your work is 10 out of 10 that you're flogging yourself at work and still not getting where you want to be financially. Okay, so what category would you most like to improve and what category would you most like to start with? Okay, and so as you look at your circle, have a look at the ones that you do want to improve. And imagine you even improve them by 1 point in the next year. We're not looking for a 10. I'm not going to have you try and go do everything at once and then go, nah, too hard, I'm out of here. I would like people to have sustainable, solid growth in all areas of life, but it starts by just starting and then just building on the wins. So ask yourself, what's one thing you could do to improve each of those categories, even by 1 point in the next coming months? So if it was, work, if it was money, is it that you're going to save another $10 a week, $5 a week, $1 a week? Is it that you're even just going to commit to putting some money in savings? That's a start. That's one start. You'll feel empowered because you're actually creating some savings. Health and fitness, is it that you commit to, I suppose, tax for time, but you're like, I'm going to do a 10-minute walk a day, 10-minute walk a day, and I'm going to make sure I drink my 3 liters of water a day. That's all. One thing, how that's going to move your needle. It's going to move your needle. You'll feel more empowered and it just continues from there. You've just got to start. So what's one thing I want you to write down, one thing you could do to improve each of those categories, even by 1 point? Okay, 1 point. Cool, got it? Now, I'm curious, how will you feel in 3 months' time, when your wheel is more balanced, and if you're playing along looking on YouTube, I'll hand up a wheel here that you can see is not 10 out of 10s, but everything is within that like 8, 9, 10 range. And the one I've drawn, it looks kind of like a square. But how do you think that's going to feel different in your life when everything is just that little bit better versus the wonky wheel that you started with? That's it. We're not looking for you to try and crank a 10 out of 10. The secret is to just start, but ask yourself, tap in, how will you feel when your wheel is more balanced in 1 to 3 months' time? It's not going to be a 10 out of 10, but you'll be running better. I did this work, and it's one of those things that I assess regularly. It's a tool that I use. It's the start of the year. Today, as I record this, it's the 3rd of January. You know, it's one of those things that I like to do to assess where and what I am each year. And what I know is that so often, if you just looked at one category, it'll influence some of your other categories that are out of balance. Okay. And how do you take the action? If it's you're going to commit to drink your 3 liters of water a day, well, then you say, well, Jen says that's a glass of water an hour. Great. I'm going to set an alarm every hour through the day. I'm going to make sure I get my 3 liters of water in a day. Full stop. How are you going to feel? It's taking the action. Set reminders. I don't put things like that in the diary because I don't do it. An alarm gets my attention and I do it straight away. So what system works for you to implement these things? Okay, the reminder, by the way, is not to focus on, holy shit, your wheel's out of balance, poor me, guilt, guilt, guilt. It's like, yes, I'm taking a step today to move forward to bring my wheel more balance. This process is just a guide. It's not here to overwhelm you. It's not to show you that you're wrong or any of that kind of shit. It's just a way to identify where your wheel's out of balance and a simple system to bring it back into balance. This had such a big effect on me, or dramatic effect on me over 10 years ago, that it's a practice that I continue. And I wanted to share it with you because it really has been invaluable to me. And I'm very grateful to Mr. David T.S. Wood, one of my mentors, for showing it to me. As much as I was shocked at the time, I'm bloody stoked because it's been very valuable to me. I hope you find it useful. Now, if you go to my show notes, www.healthylifehacks.com.au, all the questions I asked and the instructions are right there. Okay. So I encourage you, whether you listen or just go to the website, www.healthylifehacks.com.au, and find the podcast. You'll find the show notes for the Wheel of Life. If you do that, work through it. I promise it's worth it. Maybe save the notes, the questions and everything, put them in your notes on your phone. And maybe it's something that you do yearly, every couple of years. It's a really worthwhile process. Have fun. Have fun rebalancing your wheel of life. See ya.